welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping in. Today we are doing a DIY do-it-yourself video on how to patch a hole. I'm going to be going step by step, showing you how you can do this start to finish, what tools you should have, and what proper material you should have as well. Let's take a look at this first though. This is a hole that I have. This is on a piece of sheetrock that I hung. But there was an outlet here that I took out and removed, and I had to patch the hole up. So what I did is I took a piece of 2x4 and I cut it. And you see the hole is here, and this is the bottom. I cut me a piece of 2x4 so it would extend at least 3 inches from up here, there, and here to give me something to screw my sheetrock into. This side over here is already attached to a 2x4. And with everything here is stable. Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to cut a piece of sheetrock, which I already did, and I'm going to cut it into fit, and we're going to patch this. This is a really, really serious patch. So we're really going to be doing some real surgery here. This is not your normal hole patching. This is a real patch. So this is an excellent example to show you how to fix it. All right. So hold on. Okay. So here's my tools. I've got I got a 4-inch knife. Okay, this is a 4-inch Spackle putty knife. All right, I've got a 6-inch Spackle putty knife, what they call also a joint knife. Okay, both of them. All right, then I have a 10-inch. This is a 10-inch. All right, and this is a 12-inch. All right, then I have my mesh tape. Now you also have paper tape, but for this, because it's a patch and it really has got a lot of work that's got to be done, I'm using the sticky back tape because it's going to give a stronger joint. All right, and I have my sand block. Okay, and I have my utility knife, and I have my this is called a mud pan. Now they sell these in plastic. I don't like the plastic if you're doing this all the time, because over a period of time the plastic will start getting in your putty and it's hard to wash. So it's where, if you're doing this on a regular basis, and if you're willing to spend the money, this was like $12.99 or something, it's worth having it because you can wash it and dry it. All right, family, so look, let's take a look at this. This is what I'm using. This is the Spackle joint compound. This comes in red, green top, blue top, and also the red top. I tend to like the blue top because it has a way of, it's a little bit lighter when you have it in the pan while you're mixing it and everything. This is actually my favorite. You can use any of them, but this works really good. Okay, so look, what we're going to do, we're going to get, I already have my piece cut, and we're going to go ahead and screw this piece in here. All right, I believe I have it right there. Got a perfect cut. Like I say, I'm using my screw gun. Okay, well, let's come up to this screw right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a dimple. There is a dimple, like on your cheek. That's what you want. You don't want the screw to go all the way in the sheetrock, because it won't hold it. You just want to create a dimple so that when you put the putty in it, it will fill that dimple. You also want to make sure that it is not as, you want to make sure that it's not sticking out, because you're not going to be able to fill the hole. Also, when you run your knife down, your putty knife down, it's going to hit the screw. So you always want to make sure that you get a dimple in it. Okay, so at this stage, we're good. We're even. This is the thing. Like I said, this is a major hole. This is a major hole. I want to make sure we're even as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my putty knife, and I'm just going to come across. See? And I already know it's going to be a little bump, but that's what our putty is going to fill it in. See? But you don't want this piece protruding the sheetrock. You want it at least, definitely you want it level with it. But if it's a little, beneath the paper, if you got to deal with it, you got to deal with it. But you want it as close to even as possible, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my utility knife, and I'm going to show you this as well. Let's take a look at this. This is my utility knife, okay? Now, you got a blade on here. My blade is broke. You always want to have a good sharp blade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blade out, right? And you take a screwdriver, or, I have my screw gun here, so that's what I'm using, okay? And with your utility knives, they have extra blades. They should have you should have extra blades inside of the knife, right? Okay? Or you can just flip this knife so that you put it back in, right? Now you got a good sharp knife there ready to use. Okay? And then you go back and you screw it. And like I say, I only used the screw gun because that was what I had, near me. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our joint tape. Again, like I said, they have paper tape and they have mesh tape. I'm using mesh tape. You see that? It's mesh. And what happens is the spackle will fill in and it creates a stronger bond. Okay? All right? And it's sticky back. This is why I like this as well. So we're going to start right here. And what I'm doing is I'm holding this, right? See that? And I cut it. Okay? And notice, I want you to pay attention. This is where the joint is, but I extended it at least a ½ inch over. Okay? All right, that. Now, I'm going to come this way. Okay? And we don't want it all the way over here. You just want it at least a ½ inch over. Right there. Actually, that was about 1 inch. That's fine. Because if you notice, we're already out this way. All right? All right. Then, we'll come down here. And this is where you call, this is repair. This is a repair. Okay? And you overlap as you come over. You see this? You overlap that tape. Okay? We're trying to create a bond. We're creating a bond here. Okay? A bond. Okay? Got that. Now, what I want to do is I want to come this way. Got that. And that should be that right there. Right there. Okay. I don't need it over here because that's already got the sheetrock there. We're just trying to cover up those spaces that's got to be filled. Because we're going to fill all that. We're going to joint all that. We're going to fill all that. All right. And we're going to create it. And what I love about this, kind of stuff is it make you feel like you're a magician when you have a hole and then all of a sudden you don't see the hole anymore. So that's what I love about doing this work, because I can fix this, and hopefully my goal is you'll never know that it was a hole there. Okay, so we're going to see what happens. I'm going to get my pan ready and we're going to make our putty. Okay, hold on. All right, so family, look, we're going to start working with our compound. We're going to, for the first coat, you always use it directly out the bucket. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to do it. I got my 4-inch knife. Remember I got a 4-inch, 6-inch, 10-inch, and a 12-inch. You don't need that many knives just to fix a hole. Okay? You really could just use a 4 to 6-inch. I love to just keep on hand a 6-inch knife. That's standard. That's good. But with this situation, it's so in depth that I have to have the other sizes in order to create a coverage. All right, but you really could just use a 4-inch or 6-inch knife. All right, so watch this. I already cut this, so the top will come straight off. Okay, and I've already been in this bucket before. And again, like I say, I'm using this straight out the bucket. Okay, so you can get, just, and come and look inside here. I want you to see how it looks. See this? And I'm going to show you how I mix it. This is enough. This should be enough to do this. All right, come on up. Now, come on inside. I want you to see. And all I do is this. I want to just mix it. We're not adding any water to this right now. But as we get closer to the end on the next video, we're going to add some water to it. All right. And like I said, I get in my corners. You want to get that. Okay. And here we go. Now, we're going to take this and we're going to go over. We're just going to put it over. All right. Then those areas where it's deep, you push it in. You got to push it in there. Okay. Remember how we had to push, we got to push it in there to fill it. All right. All right. Now let me tell y'all this. If you leave that like that, that's how it's going to look. And you're going to be sanding for 2 and 3 days. You don't want that. So now what we do is we come and we clean it. Okay? And I'm lightly coming across in certain areas. All right, you see that? That's it. We're done. And this is, and remember, this is the sheetrock that we added. This is where we filled that deep hole. We filled it here, okay, and also here. What we're going to do is we're going to allow this to dry completely. It's going to take 24 hours because we're working straight out the bucket. But I made sure that I cleaned the outside edges as if it never was there. And when this dries, we're going to feel it. We're going to make sure that it's level. And then we're going to fill in the deep spots that's not filled. Okay? All right, so this will be considered. Before we go there, let me show you how to put back the putty. Watch this. Going down here. I'm gonna put this back. This is my extra. So I'm gonna just scoop this back out because you don't want to waste this. This is good. Throw this back in. Put that back in your bucket, right? See. And this is something that, you will make mistakes with, and everything. I've done some projects in my teenage years where, I had to sand the whole room with a belt sander because I did it wrong. And then over a period of time, you find out that, it just takes, the key is creating layers. That's what you want. You want to create layers. And you don't want to rush. If you want it to look nice, you want it to look nice. And you know what? While I'm at it, I just thought about something else. Watch this. I'm going to grab a little bit more. Let's come back up. All right, so look. Here's a situation. And I'm just thinking about it. If you are in a situation, where possibly you are in an apartment and you get ready to move out and you got a few holes that you need to fill, or possibly, maybe created a hole. you can get a small thing of joint compound and do this as well. And watch this. You can, I'm gonna just fill these 2 holes. Because like I showed you, this patch that I have, this is a real patch. But you might just have something minor. And you can just go over something like this. Watch this. Watch what I do. I just grabbed it. Boom. You don't leave that there. Because when it dries up, it's going to have up all of that there. You clean it off. Done. Okay? I'm going to do this one also. Watch this. Done. And because I created a dimple, it was something for me to fill in. And it's when it dries, you're not even going to notice it. And especially after I go over it another 2 to 3 times, it's going to be perfect. All right. So family, like I say, we're going to take the rest of this, you know, throw it in here, you know, and then, you know, I could have had a bucket also ready for me to wash this out, because what you don't want is you don't want to just let this sit. Okay. You don't want to just let this sit and dry. You want to have a bucket ready with a sponge or rag and just rinse this, wash this out, and then wipe it off so it doesn't rust, and let it be ready for when you come with the second coat. So what we're going to have to do, is let this set again, like I say, for 24 hours. It looks really bad right now, but I promise you, when we get done, it's going to be decent. And when we get, after we do this tomorrow, let's see, this is 24 hours, yeah. So tomorrow, we'll call that part 2. Today, we'll just call it part 1. I appreciate you guys for hanging in, and hang out with me, and we see you on the next one. Hey, everybody. Look, we are here on day 2 of, you know, this past job that I was showing you guys about on how to fix it. I want to show you real quick of what we're looking at. Check this out. All right, so look, this is where we are here. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I thought it was going to take 24 hours. This actually took me like 2 days for this to dry. Especially this area right here. This was the real deep area. And it was like right around here where it was really deep. And it actually made it longer to dry because I used it straight out of the bucket. There is something called the bag method, and the bag method has a different ingredient to the powder that will cause the powder to harden up like cement, and it would have been faster, but I wanted to just show you guys how to use it out the bucket. So it took about 48 hours, and that's where we are now. So we are, you know, solid, real good. Now, this is what we're looking at. I have my 10-inch knife. This is my 10-inch knife. And this is what I'm doing. I'm going and I'm looking at the wall. So this is literally flat against the wall. Flat. But the further, see that? I got a little rock there. I got a gap. See that? Got a really bad gap there. See? See? And now I get flat again. So what that means is in this area, I need to try to sand it down, right? And I need to try to flatten it out so that when we skim, it comes over even. See? Because I want to be able to come straight across and skim. See that? See that gap in between? I want to make it flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sandpaper and my putty knife, and I'm just go, you know, a little bit like that on some of the light, little small areas, but mainly my sanding block. That's what I'm getting ready to use. So you guys hang in there right there. All right, so we're just going, and we're not doing it really hard because it's still only the first coat. So I don't expect for it to be completely flat, but I'm trying to create an even flow, you see? you don't want to sand too hard. Just go over it decent, right? And you always want to make sure you get them outer edges. See, always want to get them outer edges, right? Okay, see what I'm doing? See how it looks? Like that. Like that. And it comes with practice. Practice makes perfect. Okay. Okay. So right now, what we're looking at is this being even. You see how you can see it. And this is where the work is going to be. Because what I want to do is I want to build this, because this wall here, all this is flat. And what I got to do is I got to build it out really right up in this dip. This dip right here, I got to build this dip out and build it so that all this, see that? All this is even. I got to build it out so that it will be even, okay? So hold on. All right, so look, y'all, I got my pan. I got me some mud, and I'm still using it straight from the bucket. I'm not, adding any water, thinning it out. You'll see as we get along to the next few stages where we'll add water. And I just, did what I did earlier on and just mixed it. And this is my 6-inch knife, okay? And I apologize for the camera, because my boys weren't home. But this is all I'm doing. I hope you can see it. And I'm just going on heavy. And I'm just coming around, right? But you gotta, it's like I'm drawing. You see how it just didn't cover that? It didn't cover it because it's a dip there. And you've got to draw that dip in. You got to draw it in. Now, I am cleaning my edge. Okay? You got to draw, but you got to draw. And I'm dragging because I want this side to be like this side. So I'm dragging it, but I lighten up as I come across. See? And if you have to tilt the knife, you tilt the knife. But see this? I'm lightly going across it. I have to feel this. See this? Look at that. I feel it. And I come on and I drag hard from the edge. And then I lighten up to fill. See that? I lighten up to fill. Watch this. Come across. Draw it in. Like that. Clean it up. And you gotta play around with. This is what they call feathering. It's just like feather. And you just kind of draw it. I like, because I'm heavy on this side, but I'm light on the left side with my knife. Come across like that, right? And I'm still I got a little dip there, but for the most part, I'm okay. Again, you cannot keep playing around with this, because if you keep playing around with it, you'll, be working against yourself. So what I'm going to do for my second coat, I'm going to leave this just like that. And that's going to be day 2. I appreciate you guys for watching, and tune in, next time, and I'll see you for day 3. Hey family, listen, look, this is day 3, on this project. I want to show you how we dried up and what's going on. All right, so if you can see it, we got a decent build up here. That doesn't look too bad. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my get my spackle knife and just glean over this a little bit. Just the heavy bumps, And like I said, because this is a repair, you normally don't do all this sanding. You normally sand one time or maybe twice and that's it. But because this is a repair, I'm really, taking time to really go over it and everything. Okay, and I'm putting a little weight in it because I'm trying to get it nice and even, but you don't want to sand it too much that it takes too much of the compound off, you know. And again, like I say, you always want to get around your edges, because that's the part that's really going to dictate what's going on. But as you see, if you see up in here, we got a little belly, but that's okay. We're going to, like I said, now what we get ready to do is get into the magic. All right, this is where you really gotta take and say, I feel even, I feel nice and even all over here, all over there. But as soon as I get right up in here, that's when I feel a little bit of a belly, and it's right up in there. So you hold on, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. All right, so look, I got my mud pan again, and I got my spackle in the pan again, and I'm just mixing, and we're going on, this time I'm going on with my, I'm gonna just go straight to my 12-inch knife, because my 12, let me show you the difference in the 12 and the 10. Let me show you this. This is my 10-inch knife. You see that? But this is my 12. Another thing you have to pay attention to is, I don't know if you can see it on the video, there is a kind of like a dip in the knife when you buy them. You have to find a dip because it may be leaning closer to here and out at the bottom. But what I'm planning to do is I plan to feather this entire thing. And what I felt just now was I'm out here, I'm pretty flat here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much just try to lean in at the top, right? And kind of feather in this bottom. So I'm going to pull it right like that. Boom. So that we can try to get us a nice flat area. And listen, we're not trying to get any awards, but at the same time, you want it to look decent, you want it to look good, you want it to look professional, and you don't want anybody to know that there was an issue here. So it takes time. Again, I'm going to make it look good, and I'm going to walk you guys right through it the way I normally do it. So check this out. Hold on. Okay, so look, here I go. I'm going to go in, right? And I'm not putting a whole bunch on my knife. I just got that little pinch. And I'm going in like this, right? Right there, you see this? I don't know if you can see it. Right here, we had a little debris. This is where you got to be careful. I had a little debris come off of my sheetrock, and it got in my paper. You don't want that because it'll drag. You see that line? It'll drag it, and you don't want that. Now, technically, what I should have done was added me a pinch of water to this to thin this out. But I didn't do it. And it's okay. You can still work with it. Okay. feeling that bump. It's really driving me crazy right now. And I am going to come there. I'm going to come here, here, and here. And I'm going to make sure my outer edges are clear. And I'm going to leave that there. And that's the way we're going to do it. And when I come back tomorrow, because this is turning into a 4th day, because we're on the 3rd day right now. This is the 4th day for this extreme patch. Somebody may say, Charles, you're doing too much. But guess what? When you kind of like a little, I guess you'll say, I don't want to say a perfectionist or asinine. It's just driving me with that one spot. So we're going to just come back tomorrow. And that'll be actually day 4. And that is going to be the last day. I promise you. Because this is really good enough. And that's that. So appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. And I'll see you tomorrow. Hey everybody. Look, we are on day 4. And this is what we got going on here. And like I say, this is going to be our last day. I'm going to sand this down. And I'm going to come with a thin coat. I'm going to add a little water to the compound today. And we're just going to go over it and feather it decent. And that's going to be it. So let me show you what the deal is. Yep, and so we're very smooth, but like I say, I still feel a little, slight little belly there, but that's gonna be good enough. That's gonna be good enough. You know, we're all sanded, and it's no rough spots. And when we prime this and paint it, I'm telling you, you're not even going to be able to tell the difference unless you tell somebody about it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get my compound, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to thin it out. All right, so look, I've mixed up my, compound. Now I'm going to take me got me a little water here. I'm going to just add a little pinch just to thin it a little bit. Just like that. And you don't want to add a whole bunch of it because you don't want it soupy. You don't want it soupy, but you do want it to be like a nice thin consistency. And you'll see as I put it on the wall how it's going to coat the wall and everything. And you see all that the juice there? You gotta mix all that up. Gotta mix all that up. If I had to do a whole bunch of this, what I have done is I went to the thrift store and I bought one of the mixers, like for a regular kitchen mixer, and they sell the tips of those at the thrift store for maybe like $2 or something. You might get 3 of them in a pack, like wrapped up, and I'll put that inside of my power drill, and I'll just have my power drill in here and mix it just like I was mixing some cake batter or something, But since it's just this little bit, this is all just using my regular 4-inch knife, mixing. And this is, I don't know if you can see just that consistency there. All right, so now I'm gonna raise the camera and I'm going to show you how I'm gonna coat the wall. All right, so look, I got my 12-inch knife, and we're going in like this. Right? And you don't have to worry about coming up too high, because you're going to wipe it off anyway. I don't know if you noticed this, I'm getting a lot of drags because when you don't properly mix your compound, you'll get and if it's some dry pieces inside of the bucket, you'll get those drags, and you'll have to go over them. And you don't want that. You don't want that on your work. And you got to keep going over it and over it till you fit. So. And that's it. That is it. And that's it. I'm finished with that. So now what we're going to do after we let this dry, now we're going to focus on actually working on the entire porch. But I wanted to do one video just specifically on how to fix up and patch a hole. When this dries, I'll have a before and after picture compared to the original hole to this one. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me, and you take care.